I'm scared.
What's he gonna do?
Mom, what do I do if it jumps at me?
No, it's alright. We'll figure it out. Call me back in a little bit. Bye.
EDgun Leshiy presents The Return of the Table for One. Welcome to another episode of the EDgun Leshiy channel. So I've got some amazing scope cam footage like you're seeing below to share with you in just a quick second. If you hate intros and you want to get right into the action, I made some picture-in-picture here that you can watch while it takes 60 seconds to cover a few quick housekeeping items before we get started. So I know it's annoying, guys, to hear creators constantly asking to subscribe, like, and comment, but the truth is my biggest weapon in defending this channel from the constant attacks from people trying to control what you get to watch on YouTube is actually you all. So if you enjoy this channel or hate someone trying to censor what you choose to watch, please consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and dropping a comment while you're watching this video. Super simple. And the impact is immediate. So supporting the channel by grabbing some merch is also obviously greatly appreciated. So I just restocked that store. So if you've been on the fence, go grab yourself something like a Table for One shirt or a Backyard Bullies shirt or hat. Make sure to use code EDGUN, EDGUN, to get 10% off your order. I'll drop a link to the description in that. Finally, one last thing. A big shout out to my Patreon supporters you're seeing here. I've got a new private Telegram page that I just kind of integrated for the Patreon supporters where you get to chat, answer questions, or I'll answer questions, provide tips, and a glimpse into a little behind the scenes of the EDgun Leshiy channel. So check out my public Telegram page as well to get a little bit of taste of that. Access to everything that I just went through will be at the top of the description. So thanks again, guys, for all your support. Now, let's dive into what you clicked on this thumbnail for. The Table for One was one of those kind of accidental but major turning points for this channel. A fateful afternoon of me knocking off things on my honey-do list found me walking the aisles of a local hardware store, where I stumbled upon a 15-year-old box covered in dust. Clear as day, though, were the words Table for One written on it. I knew it was going to be amazing, but I had little idea it would lead to me making t-shirts and millions of views and you guys making your own versions of the thing for your own backyards. If you want the full history and story, go check out the best of playlist I'll throw in the description. And there's quite a few of these videos that kind of walk through the history and story of the Table for One. So while this wood chair, though, became the center point of the channel, for many, it was the soundtrack that was the cherry on top. The soothing and catchy sounds of Ebert Humperdinck's Lonely Table for One was a fitting backdrop to this legendary piece of wood. Today, we celebrate Mr. Humperdinck as we knock tree rats off what I think is now the fourth generation of the Table for One thrones.
Just for one. In a bright, uncrowded room, while the music has begun, I drink to memories in the gloom. Though the music's still the same, it has a bittersweet refrain. So play the song the way it used to be. She's passing by the window, she will hear our love song and the melody. And even if the words are not so tender, she will always remember the way it used to be. Friends stop by and say hello, and I laugh and hide the pain. It's quite easy to let go. Then the song begins.
Man, that song brings back some memories. In this video, I'm pretty much using every Leshiy 2 build I currently have set up. So each with a separate March optics sitting on top, and all of them have Scalaworks mounts too. So the first one was the March Optics FX 4.5 by 28 on the now 450 millimeter 25 cal L2. So I'm testing right here a 40 grain 254 slug from AVS, and this thing 100% passes the squirrel check. Next up, we'll do some long range stuff that'll do at the farm, but I think it's pretty safe to say that this one is a winner. This is the 600 millimeter Leshiy 2 in a 22 cal with the 8 to 80X from March. And I'm testing the 26 grain AVS slug this time in 2213 though, which Steve sent me from over at AVS Slugs. These match the exact bore size of the 22 cal alpha barrel, but we weren't sure about fitting the mag. I got good news. They fit just fine. Like the 40 grain though, the one from the previous shot, some final testing still needs to happen at 100 yards, but I think we're pretty safe to say this one is a winner too. Back to the Leshiy 2 Hornet in 7.62 millimeter. This has a really cool scope I just got from March called the Compact 1.5 to 15X. It's a second focal plane scope, and it's about as small as you can get to fit in a mount like the Scalaworks that I've got here. I really love this thing so far, and if you're looking for a tiny optic with a simple illumination of the red dot, this is a great option. And I break it in here on this channel with its first double tap. So that right there was a double tap in real time. So I'm seeing comments suggesting I'm speeding it up, but I'm not. I can break it down and explain how impossible that would be based on what you're actually seeing in the video, but honestly, I don't really care. Nor do the majority of you all, so I won't bore you. I guess I'm flattered, really, as I don't think of myself as a particularly great shooter. I just have a ton of time behind this gun and specifically this trigger. Double tapping just takes reps. It's fun to test your skills, so I highly recommend if you got a Leshiy 2 or get one, pull out some targets and start practicing. Here's another look at this MTR5 reticle as I take it from 1.5 to 15X. There are a few other options you can go check out on EDgun West's website if you don't like this reticle, but for filming, I found this one to be super clean and really kind of out of the way. There are 6 settings on the illumination, which is just this red dot, and this one is number 6, which is the highest. With the Scalaworks mounts, it makes it super easy to move from gun to gun. So here's that 8 to 80X, but now on the Hornet. So at 30 yards, 50X is about the max that I could use. Honestly, I can't wait to take this to 100, maybe even 200 yards to see what Japanese glass at 80X really looks like. Here's another double tap, or I should say attempt. With all these different setups going on at once, I haven't been doing double tapping with a specific gun. So as each trigger can be unique based upon the setup, really. So I'll run it here in real time, and you can see and actually hear the hesitation, which resulted in that dome shot and then a follow-up haircut. Now we're back to the 450 millimeter 25 cal, shooting those 40 grain AVS bullets with a double-double. This first one was perfect, actually. The second one, though, were both hits, but I didn't really do a good job of leading it on that second one. So you'll see it right here. Here it is again, but in this time I'll show it in real time. I had a brain freeze on this double tap. Well, so did this squirrel, I guess, too. But so much so that I wouldn't even classify that as a double tap. I'd classify this more probably as a follow-up. Back to the 8 to 80X here on the Hornet 7.62, and I'm just doing some single snipes on these guys. The glass is just so clear here that you can see the wind blowing on the hairs on its ears. I cannot wait to see what this thing looks like at 100 yards. I just haven't been able to get up there yet. A couple more shots here to wrap up this video. Let me know which March optics you'd put on your dream setup. All of these are pretty incredible, to be honest, so it's going to be a tough choice for me. Thanks for watching the EDgun Leshiy channel. Want more backyard hunting videos? Grab your favorite beverage and get yourself caught up. There's hundreds just like the one you just watched. Here's a couple favorites to get you started.